Did you know you can be convinced to say yes to almost anything just by first being asked for a small favor? It sounds almost suspiciously simple, doesn't it?
It really does.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a pretty powerful psychological phenomenon. It's known as the foot in the door technique. And our mission here really is to unpack this specific mechanism, how it works, why it's often so effective, and maybe most importantly, what it means for you day to day.
Yeah, and we're going to be drawn heavily on, well, a really pivotal 1966 study. It's by two psychologists, Freedman and Fraser, and it kind of laid the groundwork for all this.
Right, the classic study. So let's start with the core concept. What is the foot in the door technique, fundamentally?
Well, what's fascinating is how straightforward it seems, yet how effective it is. The basic idea is that if you agree to a small request first, something may be insignificant, you become significantly more likely to agree to a second, much larger request later on.
Okay, so it's like a stepping stone.
Exactly, a subtle psychological stepping stone.
But what's going on there? I mean, out our heads, is it just about being nice, or is it something, I don't know, deeper, like consistency?
Yeah, consistency is a big part of it. It often boils down to something called self-perception theory. See, once you say yes to that small thing, you subtly start to see yourself differently. Maybe as the kind of person who is helpful or who supports that particular cause.
Ah, okay.
So then when the bigger related request comes along, saying no suddenly feels, well, inconsistent. It clashes with this view of yourself you've just sort of formed or reinforced.
So it's our own need to be consistent that makes us vulnerable, in a way.
You could say that. It guides our future behavior to align with that initial action.
And the Freedman and Fraser study you mentioned, that's the one that really showed this in action, right? Put it on the map.
That's the one. Published back in '66, Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. They really wanted to test this out, in the real world.
So how did they set it up? What was the small request?
Okay, so for the initial small favor, they went door to door. They asked homeowners if they'd be willing to put a small sticker in their window, like really small. It was just to promote road safety. Very easy ask, pretty harmless. Designed so most people would probably say yes.
Right, low barrier to entry, easy yes.
Exactly.
And then?
That was the big F.
Then came the follow-up. A few days, maybe a couple weeks later, they went back. Same houses. But this time, the request was dramatically different. They asked if the homeowners would put a huge sign in their front yard.
Huge? Like how huge?
Well, apparently quite large and, frankly, pretty unsightly. Also promoting road safety, but, a major visual intrusion.
Okay, so quite the contrast. Tiny sticker versus massive billboard on your lawn.
Well, precisely. Stark contrast.
And crucially, they had a control group, too.
Oh, absolutely crucial. They had another group of homeowners who were only asked the big request, the huge sign right off the bat. No small sticker first.
This comparison was key, obviously. It let them see if that initial small yes actually made a difference, or if people just really cared about road safety signs,
Right. Isolates the technique itself. So the results, I gather they were pretty striking.
Oh, definitely. The numbers really tell the story. Get this. For the group who had first agreed to the small sticker, an astonishing 76% of them also agreed to put up the huge, ugly sign.
76%.
76%. More than 3 out of 4 people. After just saying yes to a tiny sticker a bit earlier.
Wow. That's massive compliance for such a big ask. It really shows how that first little agreement just opened the door.
Completely. And then you compare it to the control group.
Right. The ones who only got the big requests.
Yeah. For them, only 17% said yes to the big sign.
17. Wow. So 76% versus 17%?
Exactly. That's like, what, more than 4 times the compliance rate? It's not just a small effect. It's a powerful demonstration of the principle.
It really is. That initial small commitment clearly changes something fundamental in how people respond later.
It changes how they see themselves, like we
Right.
talked about. That self-perception shifts, and they act consistently with that new perception.
So the big takeaway, the kind of moral of the story from this study is saying yes to something small can genuinely make you much, much more likely to say yes to something big later on.
That's the core insight. That seemingly insignificant first step can pave the way for major commitments.
It makes you think, like, how often does this happen without us even noticing? You agree to, sign a simple online petition, and then suddenly you're getting emails asking for donations, then to volunteer time, then maybe even lead a local chapter or something. It escalates.
Absolutely. This isn't just some, dusty old academic finding. This is happening all around us, constantly.
In marketing, for sure.
Oh, definitely marketing. Think about free trials, email signups.
Yeah, the classic sales funnel, right? Get you to opt in for something small and free, then offer a small purchase, then a bigger one.
Precisely. Each yes makes the next one feel more natural. But it's not just sales. Think about social movements, workplace requests, even personal relationships sometimes.
True. Small favors asked by friends or partners can sometimes lead to bigger expectations down the line. It's a really fundamental tool of influence, often working under the radar.
It really is. Which brings us to the key point for you, the listener. The next time someone comes to you asking for just a small favor, maybe take a beat. Pause for a second.
And ask yourself.
Ask yourself, what might this be leading to? Is this small yes potentially opening the door to a much bigger request later on? Am I agreeing just to this little thing? Or am I subtly shifting my own future willingness to comply?
It's a really potent thought, that tiny agreement setting a precedent. It certainly puts a new perspective on those everyday requests.
It does. It's about awareness, really.
So we hope this deep dive gives you that awareness. Apply this understanding, notice these dynamics in your own life. It might just change how you respond next time you hear, "Could you just?"
Definitely something to think about.